What's going on, everybody? Again, after a long time, it's your boy, Friends Nelco from North Memphis, coming at you from what was once the border. Right. I'm here up top the 4th Chickasaw Bluff in downtown Memphis, Tennessee. Across the river, what you see behind me is the Wolf River Harbor, and then Mud Island, and then after a few yards past that is the Mississippi River. What is now the state of Arkansas. But when you talk about, let's say, 1783 and afterwards, that was the border with the Spanish territory of Louisiana. Funny that I talk about the border because the border is a big thing in discussion right now. But let me tell you, if you study the matter of the border with Spanish-speaking countries, and sometimes Canada, of course, has always been a point of friction and opportunity for bad faith diplomacy and military aggression on the part of the United States of America ever since it won its independence from Great Britain, for sure. And I offer this as proof. Because when we were founded as a country, the ground I'm standing on right now, atop the 4th Chickasaw Bluff, which is in fact the reason for being for Memphis, Tennessee, because you can dock a boat here on this side and not worry about how high the water would get, because it would always go that way across the flat floodplain, not over this steep bluff. Anyway, yeah, this was the border with Spain. Back in when the United States became independent. So I'm standing upon the westernmost expanse of U.S. territory when it won independence. So, and it got to the present alliant border with Mexico through a lot of bad diplomacy, which we continue to this day, to be quite honest. Representative Escobar from Texas, who represents El Paso and surrounding areas, has complained that the border is political theater. The GOP is making political theater of the border. Her own party is not immune from such by any means. But I will tell you this. The border is not a crisis. I don't care what they say or who says it. The border is not a crisis itself. The border is working as it is intended to do. We're making a crisis at the border. The United States is making a crisis at the border. And there are economic opportunities in such. For sure. You consider the border a crisis if you don't like brown people to immigrate to the United States, legally or otherwise. You consider it in crisis if you think that just passing certain laws and we'll fix the problem. No. We are causing problems in other parts of this continent so as to create a crisis at our border. Do you agree with me or no? Okay. Let me explain. Any unaccompanied minor, not from Mexico or Canada, who shows up at the border, immediately becomes by law, becomes a ward of the federal government. What does that mean? By law, legally, they are legal immigrants. If you show up as a minor at the border, escaping, if life is so incredibly tough for you, wherever you come by, that you as a minor have to escape from countries other than Canada and Mexico, oh yeah. Social distancing is not in play anymore, obviously. Then the law covers you. Now, there are certain people who don't like the law, don't uphold the rule of law, and want to screw with people independent of their legal rights. Those people are called fascists. That's why you have a fascist government, where don't pay attention to the law, screw with them anyway. Okay, that's fascism. That is an indicator of fascism. You don't believe me? Look it up. But anyhow, so yes, Mexican people, like my parents and a younger brother of mine, generally come to the United States and stay, legally or otherwise, in order to escape economic hardship. Mexico is a country with great weather, great food, great people, and you really would not leave unless life started to really suck. Okay, let's get that clear. And for the most part, I would surmise, I've never been, but Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador are the same. Venezuela, the same. Haiti, the same. Okay? You know, why would you leave your family or whatever had kept you going? Well, life had to really suck. For sure. Well, I'm going to make a long story short. Because there's detail you can study on the matter. The United States, okay, we have people at the border right now who are being deprived of their legal rights to a hearing for asylum, or being sent back to Mexico in contravention of our treaty obligations. They're not from Mexico, but being sent to Mexico to stay there and await their trial that never comes, because that's the politics of the day. Okay. The purpose of the crowding at the border is this. We are crowding people at the border in these detention facilities in order to pay the people to run these detention facilities a exorbitant premium for housing these people well beyond our agreements and our law and guidelines for their pretrial period, whether it be children or parents or whatever. The over and above cruelty that was endemic to the prior administration with respect to mistreatment and of detainees / prisoners and child separation, infant child separation even, that is, and mistreatment and deprivation of medical care, radical hysterectomies. Those are products of the cruelty of the prior administration. Not to say that unlawful and extended detention, awaiting trial, isn't cruel in and of itself. But we pay contractors like CoreCivic, who's a private jail contractor, I believe based in Nashville, Tennessee, and on the order of $650 per head per day, which is more than enough to hold them 2 nights in Trump Tower, in a Trump hotel, per day. Okay? That's why. We get to funnel, okay, so these votes come in order to funnel funds to well-connected businesses. And this is facilitated by, of course, the rancid political rhetoric that these people who come in desperation for escaping situations that we cause in our neighboring countries, basically, they fix their country by electing someone to fix their country, and we undo that election and put in a goon, and this goon makes life unbearable for people, okay, and they escape threats to their own life, even if they have to come caravan en masse for their own protection. You don't believe me? Okay. I'll explain that later if you're still wanting to know. But anyhow, so what this is again traceable to an economic interest on the order of the military-industrial complex and big pharma. The border crisis that we have, supposedly, is not because we have that many people that we need to stay out. The solution is not to put electric alligators or whatever in the water, or build a taller ladder, or put more people or more assets. But then again, that's just more money for the interests. That's just more money for all the people who lobby for us to pursue these solutions. Throw our tax dollars at that. They lobby for this aggression. So that's why they got you all excited about people coming from Honduras and Guatemala and El Salvador. They're not going to be coming from Mexico anymore. Mexico's kind of on the way up, and we're not on our way up. So there's less of a draw from Mexico, COVID notwithstanding. But so yeah, and even Joe Biden, because he's put. Let me see. What is he prioritizing? Taxes, but he's not prioritizing gun control, and he's not I'm sorry. He's prioritizing gun control because the NRA is fading as a lobbying group. People who are not fading as lobbying group is the military-industrial complex and the incarceration industrial complex. So we are prioritizing taxes and gun control, but we are not prioritizing the border or ending wars. Why? Proof. Kamala Harris gets put in charge of the border. She's the wrong person to be in charge of the border, believe you me. Why is that? Because there's no. We're going to keep on messing up these countries under this kind of leadership. She's a disciple of Hillary Clinton, who's a disciple of Henry Kissinger. Okay, we're going to still pursue dogged defense of the economic interests of American businesses and American partners in Latin America and elsewhere, in order to keep economic inequality and laissez-faire economics in play in Latin America, in contravention to freedom and justice for all, basically. And so life's going to continue to suck for people until the Biden administration changes its priorities in our neighboring countries. Obviously, we're not fixing Haiti. We're continuing to irritate the problem with Haiti. Look, a hip-hop, it's so Memphis right there. A hip-hop carriage. I love it. Love it. That's Memphis AF right there. Anyway, so yeah. So Memphis didn't get to be a border town because of our lust for cotton in Texas and gold in California and the Colorado River floodplain and the Gadsden Purchase railway opportunities and Florida expanding the slave trade into Florida and the Gulf Coast. So this border has always been an opportunity for us to do no good. This is the jump. And it continues to be this day. I fear that this is going to be the last time we take a bite out of the apple, of that poison apple. And I'll be on the wrong side of the ethnic divide. What do you mean? Mexico's lithium deposits in Sonora. Sonora is a state that gave up part of itself to Arizona in the New Mexico territory in the Gadsden Purchase. Currently south of Arizona, there is in Sonora a well-known deposit of lithium that we may decide to expropriate. So we'll make up some excuse to throw our military might behind, at Mexico. Some threat of drugs or guns or something like that. Some of these threats. We'll use that fucking excuse, like we did at Spain, to take over Florida when it was basically distracted with the Mexican revolt. Anyhow, it would be so in character of the United States to do this kind of thing, even if it was under Biden. Same people support Biden. Let's not be unclear about this. There's no political will to solve anything at the border, to let the rule of law and the will of the people prevail in our neighboring countries so that they can fix their own problems. No, we will continue to blow up, to shake up the chessboard over there when we lose the game, so that disorder and chaos and crime prevail in these countries. Believe you me, the NRA is very happy that guns flow into Mexico, because they sell them from here. Believe you me, the incarceration industry is very happy that people are in such desperate situations to come, irrespective of the risk of us not honoring their tribute obligation, because they get to put them up in tent cities, basically, and charge as if they were in 5-star luxury suites. That's why they have you scared of these people. And that is the nature of our border crisis. It's not a border crisis. They're not coming because their cultures are messed up. They're here because we're there. Don't get it twisted. Don't get confused. We are so ignorant about what the United States does abroad to make life worse for people outside of the United States, especially in our neighboring countries, that as a result of the chaos, spray their citizens up towards our border in search of a decent life. This is Efren Tinoco from North Memphis, coming at you from what used to be the border. Bye.